like, we grew up, so my mother moved here from Italy. So we just grew up, it's like spending summers there. It's like my grandmother would go every morning to get us bread and shit. Or like, go get bread, go to the fruit, like, stand, get fruit, like, get fresh shit every day. And in my dreams, I'm like, I wish we could do that. But for me, it's Whole Foods down the street.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, like, not hate living in LA.
I mean, that's fair.
I would not hate living
there. The politics are pretty shitty, but I'm the same way. I love grocery shopping.
It's
like
fun.
a nice walk.
I like putting headphones in and looking at food.
At the market basket, I can't enjoy myself, but yeah.
Why? Do they go crazy? Do people go
People
crazy?
there are like f***ing insane. It's like
the headphones for me, I just tune it out.
I don't.
And I'm tall, so I feel like I just like bump through everybody and they're just like steering away from me.
There it's like literally listening to like the Nicki Minaj and I'm like, oh my god, where's the ketchup?
Okay.
Wait, so how do we make these things?
Potato chips?
Yeah.
So I sliced them super thin.
Oh, that's what those are.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It is so refreshing to have someone who does not cook like me. Oh my
Wait,
god,
what did you think these were?
Well, I thought they were potato. I just did not put together this is how potato chips are made.
Oh, okay.
Potatoes.
We're gonna have floppy potatoes. No, we will be frying these. And
God.
they will turn into potato chips. And then we're gonna put a bunch of spices on them.
Is this not a wok?
Thank you.
This is apparently a wok according to Chrissy Teigen.
Thank you.
This is
Or is there
the
even
woks
a
are like
base?
very wide.
Yeah.
And to the point where you put them on the stove and they almost just kind of wobble.
Yeah, I think
because
you're
that's
right.
like how you cook is like you throw all the shit around in the wok.
So I'm not a cook.
But we're going to be frying a lot of oil, so we will not be doing this today.
Amazing, great. I have no idea what to do.
Well, I mean, I should genuinely do the introduction. Hello, we're back for, I think this is the 6th episode. I genuinely don't know. Could be 7th. We're here with Izzy Heltai. He's actually in my kitchen. Not my kitchen. My friend Annalise's kitchen. You know the story by now. But, yes, we are making Smashburgers.
There's so many food shows I've watched. Do I know how to cook any of it? No. But I really like watching.
Do you like cooking?
No, I like eating. Well, how about this? I'm a total kitchen bottom, so I like when people walk me through cooking, but I have no desire to, like, make the steps and do it myself, right, Annalise?
Okay, well...
What is this for?
Just for that, purely for holding like that.
It's my comfort. I want to put Archie in. I want to just bop around.
We have Archie the dog sitting by.
That is...
Can I see that?
Oh, yeah.
Great. So you're gonna...
Wait, I'm washing my hands.
Yeah, you should probably do that as well. Hygiene is very important, especially during COVID times.
Yeah.
We're both vaccinated, just in case anyone's wondering. The Delta variant is real. Wear a mask. To kick things off, you're gonna season that with salt and pepper, which you can just grind. Honestly, probably a good amount.
I grew up with... So the thing is, we always grew up... Because do you guys remember having the friends that, like, their parents wouldn't put salt on pasta?
Yeah.
And you're like, this is just really bad.
And I grew up watching, like, Giada De Laurentiis, who put so much salt into her pasta water.
Oh, who's that?
Giada De Laurentiis? She taught me everything I know. She is a Food Network star. When she started on Food Network, people got pissed because they thought they were hiring a model to cook on TV. They were like, how dare you find someone who doesn't actually know how to cook? You're just finding a beautiful woman to be on TV.
Yeah.
And it turns out she's actually just really pretty, but knows how to cook very well.
What's her name?
Giada De Laurentiis.
Is she Italian?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Very much so.
Well,
this is a tangent that I did not expect.
I was going to say, wait, are we
on.
supposed to be doing questions? I'm also just fine with this.
But I will ask you a question.
Is that how I know if it's salty or not?
I don't know if
you smell the salt?
I don't think you can smell the salt, but it does smell like... It doesn't actually have a smell, which is good, because you don't want it to smell like meat or something.
Oh,
it should
because
just
it
sort
was
of be
bad
fresh.
meat. Okay, so I've been asking as many people as possible, when you eat fish, do you, like, feel like a fish after? That's a weird question.
What does that even mean?
Okay, because I feel like a fish after I eat fish, and my mom's like, I think you might just be allergic to what you're eating.
Yeah, you having like a weird reaction? Because I eat fish, I just get full. That's great. No, I don't feel like that.
Alright, that's good to know. I'm gathering evidence.
Trying to remain on some sort of central topic here. You released an EP 2 weeks ago at this point?
I think so. What day is it? Producer!
August 3rd.
Yeah, so like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago.
Cool.
I
It's
don't know,
called Day
recently.
Plan 5 Songs Written for the End of the World.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Nailed it.
And it's fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Andrew.
How's the reception to it then?
Great, I think. I mean, honestly, what's felt really good, I think, with it, it's like, because people would ask me that, because every single came out on its own, right? And like when I started releasing them, in like February, people would ask me that, and I was like, fine, I guess. But it's like when you were releasing music, because it used to be, it's like you would play shows, you would know what the reception was.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
now
like
you kind of just gotta
it's
wait.
kind of like in a vacuum.
Wait
So I
and
was
see.
like, I don't know. It feels like it's out. But what's been great now, since like outdoor shows are happening again, I've gotten to play shows along with it. Oh yeah, you guys saw one.
We
of
went
them,
to one of those.
which like I just.
I have the bug bites to prove it.
Oh my god, I know. But I don't know. I think I went through this fear where I think a lot of musicians were experiencing this, where I was like on the other end of this. I'm like, will I enjoy playing shows again? And like, fortunately for me, I realized like that I do like really love it, and like missed it so much.
I've run into that with a couple of artists that I've talked to where they were like super nervous, really scared to get back on stage, and like, is this gonna work? Is this gonna be okay? The overwhelming response is that people are just having more fun than they feel like they had before.
Yeah,
which is great.
Like absolutely, like I feel like more excited to be anywhere than really I ever have before. Oh my god, look at these balls of meat.
Yeah, so this just sort of starts with making decent sized meatballs essentially, and you don't really we just put salt and pepper in them. We're being fairly simple. And then
Do we want to get fancier?
yeah, we're gonna put cupcakes.
I want everyone to know that Annalise has sprinkles in her spice magnet collection. I want you to be on camera at some point.
She's the hidden producer.
My goal for
the
the day.
73 Vogue voice from Vogue, like the 73 questions voice.
Oh my god,
where
yeah.
they like never see them. Hey, Zac Efron.
I actually just watched that one. He is super hot. Have you guys seen that show?
What a
What's it
hot
now?
take.
That Zac Efron's hot.
Yeah. Where did we come from with that?
Oh, I don't know.
forget.
Live shows. Why I love the Boston Community of Musicians. It's like it's like a small, intimate scene in its own way, even though it is. I mean, it's such a small city, really.
Yeah.
It's not very intimidating, and it's like everyone really knows each other, and everyone's like, I mean, for what I know, very friendly. But it's like there are so many different types of scenes. Like I've been in a more folky one for a long, long time.
Yeah, especially being in Western Mass. I mean, that's just sort of expected out there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep testing this.
Andrew, it's not ready.
It's not.
No matter how many times you test it.
But eventually it will be.
Well, can't you do the thing where you splash water in it?
Yeah, you can. It's just that spits around everywhere.
Oh, I'm reckless in the kitchen. So.
Yeah.
Are the potatoes seasoned? When do we season them at all?
We're going to season them after.
What are we putting on it?
All that stuff.
Yes! That's gonna be so good! Some paprika. This is the best spice in the world. Everyone. A paprika. A smoked paprika I usually prefer.
Paprika, yeah. That's
But
really
paprika. My mom f***ing hates it. It's been fun living with her. My mom's the most boring cook, though.
good. Oh my god.
What?
That's
That
ferocious.
was like a really mean Yelp review.
Oh, she's a great cook.
Oh, she's not adventurous, is what you
Well,
mean.
she grew up in northern Italy, so it's really like, it's kind of like the why food up there is so good, because it's so different than southern Italian food, which is what most people think about here, which is like the big spices, the sauces, the meat stuff. Northern Italy is like risottos, and it's like really fresh but really simple shit. It's really held in the integrity of the ingredients, so all you need is salt and pepper.
So you mentioned problems in the world. There's plenty of them. I was curious, how do you remain positive in the face of the end of the world?
Oh yeah, well that's a fun one. Well, I think it's like, I mean, I'm a fairly, like, depressed and anxious person generally. Like,
Okay.
mental illness has been, like, pretty prevalent in my life.
Yeah.
And, you know, there have been a lot of traumas in my life, the apparent one just being transgender, but there are others, just, like, through, like, I don't think I've had the hardest life. I think when things happen to you that put in perspective what good can be versus, like, what really bad can be, it makes you really be thankful and hold on to, like,
Yeah.
when a thing feels good, when a simple thing feels good, like, that's worth just being in that moment and being thankful for that. Just feeling good in those moments in my body. Yeah, I think it's just really holding on to those simple anchors.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us put too much pressure on ourselves to do a lot and do too much, especially now.
Yeah.
Like, we're just coming out of a horrible experience. And I think people were expecting to bounce back from that very quickly, and that's just not the case.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Well, right, because it's like, I think a lot of my experience is like living in days that feel like really, really bad. So when a day like just feels okay or like good,
Yeah.
it's, I think, like, worth me taking a moment to be like, this is nice.
Yeah.
But you said you feel like you've been a fairly positive person most of your life?
Yeah, and I wasn't, I don't think. And then I think just once I finally came to terms with myself and, like, came out to my family and my friends, obviously that helped a lot. And dealing with that, like, I knew I was gay in 6th grade, but I didn't tell anyone until almost senior year of high school.
You didn't? Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was like a good, like, 7 years of just sort of dealing with that in my brain, which, traumatic and horrifying. But by the time I was like, we honestly should put, like, a couple.
No, that'd be so bad.
Is it the chips or the meat?
It's for the chips.
On the meat.
Give me some meat
Some
sprinkles.
sprinkles. Annalise, I'm sneaking them into yours.
Yeah, I'll take a sprinkling one.
I just have to
Split it with
pause
you if
and
you wanna
mention
try
the
it.
fact that you're putting this, like, sophisticated inflection on Annalise. I just say Annalise.
Yeah, you do say
Annalise?
like a music
It's
teacher,
so
though.
pretty. Oh yeah, for the people that want to know how we're cooking, because that's what we're doing, I am frying potato chips and I'm making a spice mix to put on them once they are done.
And I'm doing...
You're doing so well.
Well, I was gonna say I do the role I play best in the kitchen, which is, well, I'm not smoking right now, but usually it's smoking and, like, shouting anecdotes. Or, anecdotes. Chatting.
I think this was the first one I put in.
Oh, amazing.
So,
Look, those
I think
look
that looks
beautiful, Andrew.
Hey, I really thought it would be more difficult.
Have you ever done these before?
No.
Amazing.
I mean, it comes down to essentially slice them super thin. That'd be great if that's everything. So
That's a wrap, folks.
A chip on a plate, folks.
Well, it's like when things go, like, terribly wrong and you, like burn the turkey and then you try to shave it off and you're left with, like I don't know, like a Thanksgiving gone awry.
You're like, oh, I have a piece of turkey left for my whole family.
So you didn't come out until your senior year of high school?
I did not.
Hmm.
I told, like, the one friend. We actually both ended up coming out to each other, which was super strange. Because I didn't expect that, really. But, yeah, so told, like, a couple of people, and then by the time I got to college, I was just like, fine, I'm just gonna tell everybody at this point. But also, like, going to school in Boston in a theater program, no less. There's no shortage of queer support.
They were like, yeah, Andrew, of course you're gay. You're here.
Yeah, I came out, and I think the whole idea behind that was, like, I told myself for years that it was going to be the end of the world when I told people that I was gay, and then I came out, and essentially it was like, okay.
Really?
Like, my mom knew, pretty much, and my dad had my favorite reaction. I remember he walked into my mom's bedroom when I had just told her, and she, like, kind of nudged him, and I told him, and then he was like, okay, and then just, like, walked away to take a shower. I was like, great. That's actually exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, when my sister came out to my dad, it was so on brand for my dad, but he, like, it was the funny joke. He basically just didn't even notice he was that unfazed.
Okay.
Like, because she came out in, we had, like, Day of Dialogue at my high school, so it was, like, speeches by, like, queer youth.
Oh,
it was, like, an assembly, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, big lib progressive high
guys,
school,
yeah.
yada. Brookline High School.
I was in the high school where it was like, oh, you're gay? Cool. Just, like, don't talk about that too much. You'll make the other people uncomfortable.
No, when I was in high school, it still wasn't amazing. They liked to talk a big game, but it, like, wasn't. Now, I think it's probably a pretty great place to be queer there. I think, like, half those kids probably identify as non-binary. It's like, it's amazing. I mean, it's like beautiful, but like Brookline doesn't have a queer, like if you're a queer kid, you're probably great. If you're a person of color, not so great to be there. So
like that was the thing
issues.
In my town growing up. It was like people aren't going to openly attack you or really give you any crap in person. They just like won't go out of their way to associate with you, essentially. So it was that sort of like at an arm's distance kind of acceptance feeling. And I remember when I was close to wanting to come out to people, I was talking to these guys in my art class, and they were talking about people coming out, and they were like, I mean, at that point, like, you're just, like, lying to yourself. Like, why don't you just, like, say something? And they were, like, getting angry about it, and I was like, I'm just gonna retreat into my little cave for a little bit longer. And then once I came out, it was no big deal. So I was like, fine, I'm just gonna not care about things so much anymore. And now I'm very positive to the point where I annoy some people sometimes, but it's okay. Because we need that balance.
Did you have friends in high school that stuck with you, though? Or that just didn't care?
That's just a funny question. Did you have friends in high school?
Well, I also think that is a fair question for queer kids. Like,
yeah, because it's like you could have friends, but like how many of them really knew who you were is the problem.
Or how many, did just leave?
I mean, some of the straight guys obviously were a little awkward.
Yeah, but we don't need them anyways.
No, we really don't.
Cis straight guys, Jesus.
No one needs them.
You can't see it, but Annalise had a great reaction. Annalise, god damn it. My friend was like, look at these insane videos of these like straight white men just dancing that get millions of views. And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So I watched a lot of those. So Twitter thinks so TikTok thinks I want to be on straight TikTok.
You're on the bad TikTok.
They just do these weird dances. Yep. And there are all these boys that have these like, just like the tight white tank tops and a lot of chains and rings.
People still look like that? I
Well,
guess they do.
And it's kind of those people.
Straight people.
Yeah, but they're like trying to kind of look gay also at this point.
Oh,
I'm like,
so they're
but you're like
metrosexual.
still.
Remember the advent of metrosexual?
Remember when that was a term people used? I was actually just talking to my friend
men
about
that took showers. It was just like a man that knows how to keep himself hygienically clean. And they're like, you're a metrosexual.
Homophobic term. Oh
it's
my
like,
God.
I wallow in my sweat and my filth because I'm a man.
How hot do you think? I want to try one.
They're probably hot.
They're really good, Andrew.
I'm gonna put some of our spice shit on them.
Oh my god.
That's really good.
I'm just gonna...
Boop! That is like the most dangerous and most anxiety-inducing thing.
Oh my god.
So, as a openly young trans man,
Yes.
how has your worldview, I guess, changed since you were young, maybe, I guess, closeted, and then versus now?
Yeah, definitely tenfold. Also, it's like when you're closeted, you hold a lot of views that are you probably rejecting stuff about yourself and working through things, which comes out as, like, I guess for me, mild bigotry. Like, not in any big way, but I definitely remember, like...
Did you have, the period of your life where you felt like there was something genuinely wrong with you and, something was going wrong, or was it more or less just, a curious feeling?
Oh, most of my life. I came out, I was really fortunate. I got the language and tools to write because I think that's what keeps a lot of people from coming out sometimes is just knowing that there's language to describe who
Yeah.
you are. Or at least I know that experience. I mean, I don't know, for trans people when it wasn't
Yeah.
so accessible to know
I mean,
what
I can't-
transgender was.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, I mean, just the difference there being, I mean, at least by the time when I found out that I was gay, we had at least a couple of decades under our belt of gay people sort of being in the public eye.
Yeah.
Not always, obviously, in a positive way,
Yeah.
but at least people were aware of that world. But
No,
I
I
mean,
didn't even know the concept of transgender existed. So that's why it was
that was
this-
something that came later, yeah.
Yeah, and
Right.
so because that, it wasn't even in the periphery of my mind or like any part of reality I had that a transgender person could exist. The feelings I had growing up, I was like, this is just a wrong way a person feels, and I
Yeah.
am the only one that feels this way.
Yeah, and then when, I guess, did you start to feel differently?
Yeah, I finally learned that other people existed like me. I was like 13 or 14.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, right? Well, and then it was an immediate thing where, I mean, I think having a conversation with me, like, you guys don't know me super well, but at this point you see that I'm a very open person. But it's more like honestly, it's like a compulsive thing where I, like, just don't generally have a filter. So I've had to work on, like, not saying everything I think, which is an issue. We're working on it, especially with men. But,
Those fragile men.
once I figured that out, it was near impossible for me to hold on to it, especially something that big for someone that already has
Yeah.
a hard time not just saying everything. So I came out when I was like 14 and was really fortunate to be surrounded by the community I was, and like am someone that gets to come out, that came out on the other side of it without losing anybody, which I was
That's
really
awesome.
afraid. I mean,
Yeah.
most people do lose a
At
lot of
least,
people.
at
Yeah.
least a few people.
But I didn't. I mean, my mother and I, had our things, but she grew up in, like, the countryside of Italy. Like, she didn't, like, she's incredible. But now, she, we worked through our stuff, and then she started going to, like, the trans health conferences in Boston.
Oh, really?
And, like, started knowing more about it than me, and, like, got me everything I needed before I went to college to
I
feel
remember
comfortable.
the first time I walked into my mom's room and I saw a copy of, what was the name of it? It was like Having a Gay Son, or like,
Oh my god!
yeah, and I was like, I stopped for a second and looked at it and I was like, huh. I was like, I mean, that's kind of nice, I guess.
This is cute. That's awesome.
I mean, it's terrifying for us, and at first I think I obviously felt a little, I guess, disrespected when my mom had a scared reaction for me when I came out. But especially recently, as I've been maturing, realizing like, oh no, she was just genuinely afraid for my safety.
Yeah.
Which is a genuine thing to feel.
Yeah, and my mother didn't, I mean, her reaction was never, so fortunately, like so many people in the community, like, I don't know, there are a lot of reactions by parents that are like, I'm not going to love you anymore, get out of here.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, of course.
My mother's was absolutely never like,
No,
I don't
never
love you.
like
It
that.
always came from, like, she just didn't understand or have the words or language or just know anything about it.
Yeah.
And so I have the most empathy for what her situation was. And then my father, was astounding. His reaction was basically just like, I came out to my mother, and then I didn't want to deal with telling anyone else, so she told my sister and my dad.
Okay.
And my dad was like, your mother told me this thing. And he's like, okay.
When
He's
you came out, did you initially come out as trans?
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew.
I was so fully like, I know I'm
You were
a man.
aware of
I've
all of
always
that.
known
Okay.
I was a boy.
Yeah.
I was really fortunate in that regard too, where it's like my experience as a trans man has been very binary and very,
Like cut and dry.
clear. Yeah, cut and dry.
Not
and then,
left to a lot of like nervous interpretation.
Yeah, which is like also my privilege. Like I tell people like my experience of being trans is very valid and still unfortunately very traumatizing, but is one of immense privilege within what this
I mean, I
experience could be.
I obviously feel lucky for my whole life knowing
Yeah.
that the most opposition that I had to coming out was just people like questioning me about it because they were curious or just didn't really understand it.
But so my dad was basically like called me by the right pronouns like off the bat. It was like pretty phenomenal.
That's fun.
His reaction. But he's like an old hippie, so he was like hanging out with like drag queens in the 80s in Charleston, South Carolina. Yeah, I'm helping.
I know, this is turning into frying potatoes with Andrew.
I love it!
What's your favorite song that you've written?
Oh, well, I just wrote this one. Oh, you guys heard it. It was the last song I played by myself at that gig.
What's it called?
It's called 25, I think.
Is it?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
But Adele
it's
took
a great
that
song.
hardcore, so who knows. But I really like Men on the Internet.
Okay.
I think it's a really clever song, and I think it's funny. I don't know, most of the songs I think I just, like, my favorite songs I write, I'm like, this is really stupid in a tongue-in-cheek way, and I'm all about it.
Now, your album a couple of years ago, or was that 2020? Early 2020?
I don't remember. The first one? Yeah.
Very, like, soft, beautiful, introspective, emotional music, I guess. And then your new stuff is very lighthearted, poppy. I guess, like, what was the decision?
It was just, I think I really, like, something clicked and I really found the groove of what I wanted to be doing as an artist. I think, honestly, what I would say about all my work before this EP was figuring out how to sound exactly what this is.
They start moving on to burgers, actually, at this point.
Ooh, let's do it.
We are done with putting potatoes into the oil.
Amazing. Do you want me to cut more onion?
Sure. You want to try to cut as thin as possible?
Let's do it.
Just please don't cut yourself.
I'm a chef.
We have swapped positions. You have played a new track for your lucky listeners who have caught your shows so far.
Yeah.
What else can you tell us about new music that we might be able to hear soon?
Oh God, soon is
that
probably not
overstatement?
happening. Well, we are trying to make plans to go back in the studio, but honestly, what's been crazy because it's been with this release and then live shows happening again. I've just been focusing on that.
Yeah.
Because we're getting back into the gear of that. But we're hopefully going into the studio for a new release at like the end of October. But
Cool.
that means it won't be out until the next year. So hopefully January or February. We love a crispy chip. Should we put another layer of paper towels, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, you're probably smart for thinking of that.
Look at me. I told you I'm a kitchen bottom, but I offer some.
That is such a... I've never heard anyone describe
You've
themselves
never
as
heard
that.
that? Oh my God. God, these Western Mass queers. We're just always in the kitchen.
So, take your bird and just
Wait, am I doing this?
smash it.
No, I'm on duty. Oh, and the onion will cook that quickly?
Yeah, the onion just like cooks under the burger.
Can't cook, but good at eating, so.
Okay, there you go. Alright.
Whoa, look at that shit, yo. I'm hungry.
What was your first tattoo?
My first one was this. I got it in Nashville. Sleeping in my car, we slept in a parking. Well, I do this all the time, so this was not exclusively when I was 18. This is how I was touring. I was sleeping in my car. I was sleeping in parking lots.
Yeah.
But the first time I went to Nashville, I didn't even play because I was too intimidated. But I was with my buddy, and he's like, "We should get a tattoo." And he's like covered, and he was covered then. And he got what I thought at the time was the dumbest thing in the world, which he picked a skull with a cowboy hat on it. You know what I did 2 days ago? I got a skull with that. It's 3 times bigger than what he got. A skull with a cowboy hat.
Nice.
Full circle.
And then lastly, you're working on new music. You've already released a lot of new music.
Yes.
You're doing some shows.
Yes.
What are you most excited for over the next year?
God, who knows?
Something that hasn't even come up yet.
I don't know, actually. I mean, it's gonna be a fun year. I mean, it's just kind of contingent on, like, this variant, and, like, not to bum out, but, like, what happens, like, I assume... I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Next year could be very different.
Yeah,
It feels
but
like
for
right
now, we're really excited too. I got this big thing we're playing at Americana Fest at the end of September, and that'll be a lot of fun. And
Oh yeah, so
I'm just excited to get back and playing shows and seeing my friends and hopefully new music, but we'll see. Probably new music.
Well, we have 5 songs from the end of the world to listen
That's
to
true.
for now, so that's we'll keep ourselves occupied for the time being. And now let's make some burgers.
Yeah. Do we put condiments on it, or what's the deal?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no ketchup or anything?
Sriracha. Andrew, did you bring ketchup?
I meant to say the thing is I was gonna buy some. There's hummus. You want hummus?
No. Andrew, you forgot everything.
I really did. Oh, you made a side salad.
Well, not really.
Showing me up.
All right, we doing it?
Yep.
That's really good, Andrew.
Yep. This was one of the more off-topic, chaotic episodes we've had.
Was it? But we didn't have many ingredients.
We arrived at the end with cooked food, so that is all that matters. If you want to check out this guy right here, Day Plan, 5 songs written for the end of the world, is out right now. He'll be touring here in Brookline the end of August.
August 21st.
Live shows happening again, coming to you at a Brookline near you. So we're gonna go eat. You guys check him out. Stay tuned for more episodes, and thanks for watching.
Amazing.
We're done.